to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we have the very special honor of interviewing the captain of the awesome Krewe of Morpheus, Mr. John. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
So tell us a little bit about the origins. How did the Krewe come to be?
The Krewe was formed in the year 2000 by a group of people that had been in other crews. And within 2 years, there was some changeover and there was some, it just really didn't work. And so I was approached by several of the officers of the Krewe to take it over. I had been Blaine Kern's assistant captain in ALA for nearly 30 years at the time, and I was skeptical at first. They were very, very nice people. They had great ideas. They had traditional carnival in mind, and I said, well, let's go for it. Let's do it. And so we started with a paltry 185 members the first year, which was actually, they didn't parade till 2002. They paraded 2002 to 2003, and I took it over in 2004. But the first year was we had 18 floats, small floats, with 185 riders, and put on a decent parade. But it left a lot to be desired. But we got together. We worked with some of the old crew. I brought in some of the new board members, which we still have currently, almost for 20 years running, and we ended up now this year we'll roll with over 800 riders on 25 floats.
Wow, that's an impressive number.
Bands from 6 different states, and just a wonderful night. And to be able to be paired along with Hermes and Détat, it makes it perfect. We have great crowds. Just a great, great night, the parade.
Yeah, it's 3 real beautiful parades. I would say that's probably my favorite night of parades, to be honest with you.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. We're very proud this year. We were able to purchase all of our Krewe floats. We're getting a lot of new LED lighting to accentuate these floats, and we're really looking forward to it. We added another tandem, our title float. We built a new title float 2 years ago, and now it's going to be a double tandem. So to add, accommodate the new riders that we have. So we're very, very much looking forward to it this year.
Wow. When a crew builds out their whole parade, not only is it a monumental task, but it really allows the parade their own artistic direction where, you can do anything you want. You're not compelled to, which floats are available this year. And
exactly.
You really see a parade coming to their own once they're able to do that.
Right.
So, well, what's your theme this year?
Okay, we're doing Morpheus Dreams of a Tune.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're doing highlighting different major songs. We got That's Amore, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We got Rhinestone Cowboy, down the line, Yellow Submarine, New York, and I can see, when we purchased the floats, we got a little late start, and this theme had already been picked out. Most of the props had been made already. So, but next year we want to come up with something a little bit different and start to embellish the floats. I'm a big fan of the old line look with the flowers and those type of things, and so that's what we're shooting for 2024. But then we do have, like I said, we have the floats in house now, and we also have a lease on our den for the next 10 years. So we look forward to a lot of growth and to embellish these floats and make them really much better than they've ever been for us.
Yeah, that's an amazing stride though. To go from 120 members or whatever you said,
185 that first year,
to having over 800 riders and 25 floats, and a lot of y'all's floats are either tandem or definitely double decker for sure.
Right. Right. They're all super units, super floats. We don't have any even traditional double deckers, but 8 of them are tandem with the addition of the tandem on the title this year. So it's it's funny because if this was about 5 or 6 years ago, we'd be one of the top 10 largest clubs. But then you got clubs with several thousand members, and so it's like this is pretty good. But I mean, it's just it shows a tremendous growth of especially CERT crews, especially ladies crews. So
Did you have any particular number you wanted to get to, or you feel comfortable with that number?
I love where we're at right now because of the fact that we all know each other.
Yeah.
You know each other by name. We at all the functions. It's a great number. I do think I did say this at the last board meeting. And I think that if we get to 1,000, crack that 1,000 number, we'd be right at where we want to be, financial wise, and to do some of the other things we want to do. And but I don't really want to grow much more than that. I think that I've seen some of the growth and some of the growth problems. I've been involved in several crews that have become very large, and it's just one of those things that, hey, it's a good number to be at, but then yet it's still personal enough, and so I think that's what I'm really shooting for.
So Morpheus is the god of sleep. Do you know how they landed on the decision to be?
I think that from talking to the former officers, they just researched and they came up with this, and it was good subject matter, and that's what they stuck with. And then we realized after we took it over that there was a lot to deal with it. We got some great ideas as far as new signature floats.
Yeah.
One will be after we purchased the fleet of floats, we purchased another a former title float from another crew, big huge super float, and we're going to turn that into the Temple of Morpheus for 2024.
All right.
So it'll be very nice. It'll be a signature float that'll ride towards the front of the parade each year. But, so we're going to start embellishing on that theme, sleep and dreams, with the new signature floats that we do.
Well, I love your commitment to that theme, especially like with your decorated throws and all with the face masks and all that.
Right.
Man, that's really one of my prizes of the year.
Right.
To get one of the Morpheus masks.
Right. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of subject matter you can deal with. We were trying to, like everybody else, we were trying to find something different to do, and that's when we said the god of, sleep and dreams, and so that they came up. Now how many of those are used, I don't know. Most people I know frame them, put them in the office, that type of thing. But it's just something that really went with the theme, so it worked out well.
Well, glitter sleepwear, it's not the best idea.
Yeah, that's why we don't do them double sided.
Yeah. But they're very nicely done. Every one I've ever got was, just beautiful.
We have a couple of ladies from Texas. I'm gonna tell you something. I've really framed them, and they're gonna go up in our office. We have our office on Britannia Street. There's along with this 15 other crews, including the crew of Bacchus and Toth, and is in that building. And that's, I got them framed, and that's what we plan on doing. Just put them up, just, if you've ever been in the carnival office, my wife, she drives her nuts. She says, you're frame to frame. It's just like, she says, you have no clean look at all here. I said, no, that's not the Mardi Gras way, so.
Yeah, well, I've never actually caught one of the masks, but, seeing them as people post them on y'all's Facebook pages, or your Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
Right.
And seeing the detail and the beauty of those masks. You can tell that your riders are, not just, spitting a little bit of glitter. Okay, next. Spitting a little glitter. No, they're paying attention to detail with them.
We have one of our members. He's going to end on our headpieces from now on, our crew headpieces. And his mask is just unbelievable too. The best of all in the crew. But and they do a lot of masks. It's really, I don't know how many. I know Muses does a lot of shoes, and Nick's did a lot of purses, and a lot of the crews do a lot of their specialty items. But I know they do tons. They have decorate parties. Like one of them had one yesterday, and I think they did about 1,800 masks, and this is like 6 or 8 people on this one float.
Wow.
So anyway, but you need to come to the captain's float, because one of the ladies does 50 of them for me, special ones for me, and y'all would be the first ones to get them.
Oh, hell yeah, man. No, well, I've been having a glitter decorating party at my house for the past week and a half now.
Right, it's that time of the year.
They're doing Phoenix, what was it, the Sirens. I think there was 3 or 4 things being glittered on my dining room table. So my house will never be the same again, but it's all right.
I got rid of carpets years ago in my house because I got
call.
so tired of seeing glitter. Every time I'd walk around, the light would shine on the glitter. And I mean, now I see it on my. I have marble and tile floors, and I still see it.
Yeah, no.
My house,
I've
you know,
just learned to like it. You know?
it's part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of being involved in that. You know.
I think they were much more concerned about it than I was. You know.
Right.
I'm like, hey, it's Mardi Gras. Who
It's
cares?
part of it.
So another throw that I would say is synonymous with your crew as well. You know that as members of the doubloon collecting, club, that we see how sought after they are is doubloons. You know that
Right.
the Morpheus doubloons.
Yeah, the
You know,
cutout.
y'all usually have several cutouts. I remember one year there was a couple sheep. There was, I think last year y'all had a couple different animals, and
We did sets of 4, for about 2 or 3 years. And the problem was getting them from China, okay, that they required such a large quantity of each dye.
right,
And to me, and I'm a doubloon nut too. I mean,
Yeah.
and several others said, man, you got so many of these things. I'd throw them all over the place and all throughout the route, and I still come home with a huge bag of them. And I just didn't want to I didn't want to have them overdone. So what we did now, we making separate ones like that right now. My captain's doubloon is going to be the shape of a cloud this year. Okay. We also going to have the sleep mask.
all right,
Funny story on that one. We ordered them in the crew. The crew's colors are blue and silver,
right,
so we ordered them in blue. Okay. Well, we get a call 2 weeks ago from China saying, "Wait, we just found this order, and it's too late to make them." I said, "Wait, that's how crew cut out this year. We really need to get them in." 2 days later, we had a call back and said, "Okay, we're gonna make them for you, okay? But they're not gonna be blue; they're gonna be gold because we're gonna anodize them with an order from another club, and we can't change colors." I said, "Make them gold. We'll get
Yeah.
them out there. We'll do the blue next year, you know." So yeah, we'll have those, and then we have the king and queen doubloons with the themed doubloons, and all our heavies. We have extensive heavies that for the king, queen, captain, and the crew.
yeah.
So, but yeah, we always have a lot of doubloons because because I love doubloons. I've collected them since I was a kid. You know.
So one of the questions that we actually have on our questionnaire that we know the answer is yes to is, has your crew ever been, rescheduled or moved around due to weather, police strike, pandemic? Which the answer is now yes. You know,
Right.
how did the pandemic affect your crew? Did y'all have any kind of
We held
hardships per se?
we held up pretty well. I mean, as a matter of fact, most of our people paid the dues anyway. It was I think we knew deep down inside September and October that we weren't going to parade. You know.
Yeah.
It would just been too hard at that stage of the pandemic. And what we did, we rolled over the dues. You know, we didn't, all we asked for, if you paid in full, when the decision was made to not parade, we didn't ask for anything else. If you didn't, if you had like a dues deposit or paid half the dues, and you paid the rest of it to ride in 22, when we came back last year, we only asked for a $50 assessment to kind of help with the increased insurance and the
Yeah.
other things like that. We still had to pay to run we owned at the time 5 of our floats. We had to pay that. We had storage. We had a lot of other storage for the throws. So just needed just a small assessment to do that. And
Yeah.
you know, I ran several other clubs, and I think we were very, very generous.
Yeah.
You know, with little we asked for, and that really, I think that I know it went a long way with the membership, and that was the impetus to grow to what we've grown to now. But we did well. Knock on wood, we've had the threats of
Yeah.
rain and being rescheduled, but we were lucky. We had rain up to 5 o'clock the evening of our parade, and they delayed Hermes and Daytime a little bit, and us eventually. And but we've been able to roll on a scheduled date. The 20 years that I've been captain,
Yeah.
so hope that stays the
Keep
same.
that going.
Yeah.
Right, because I don't know where they'd put us now.
Right.
You know, I mean, because you start the next day early in the morning with Iris at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. And literally, the second that Tux is finished rolling, Endymion's
Oh, everybody's-
taking off across town.
Yeah, everybody's all the NOPDs all being redeployed up to their second assignments. They all have second assignments.
Yeah.
Well, they also too. You have Namtok and Algiers, so they all go
Yeah,
for second
oh, yeah.
assignments on the East Bank too. So it's a busy day, and those parades are all huge.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Let's see. With your crew, have y'all ever had a like a celebrity monarch or a grand marshal or anything?
We were laughing about this last night. I was watching HGTV, and we had Ben and Erin Napier from Hometown,
All right.
the young couple
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Laurel,
Yeah.
Mississippi, and they had just filmed their first season. I think it was 6 years ago, and we had the Property Brothers lined up, and they got a better gig. They got the Las Vegas gig to do,
Yeah.
and they had to start filming the week of Mardi Gras. So in LA, so they weren't able to do it, and so the producer called and said, "But I got this young couple here, and they're gonna be the hottest thing around," and they have been. We had them a little before their time. They
Yeah.
were very, very nice people. We had several years before that. We had Billy Cannon.
All right. Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge LSU guy.
Yeah.
And, we had Billy Cannon, and crazy as it sounds, he took pictures with everybody in the room at our pre-parade party except for me. Yeah. And
I got photoshopped for that.
right. So we've had them, and then we've also had we did the round robin with the either the morning crew or the afternoon crews from all four of the network affiliate stations. We've had
Yeah, from ABC,
yeah,
NBC.
4, 6, 8, and 26.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's fun. That's awesome.
right.
There is no better gig than riding the parade, though. Just for the record.
Oh,
You said the Property Brothers had a better gig, and that's
tough.
come
I know.
on, I mean,
Yeah.
If you can go on Erin Napier's Facebook page now, you can still see that on there, and it's on their blog for their show. They have definitely had a wild time in New Orleans before and after the parade. And,
Yeah.
you get to New Orleans and it's a different kind of
Yeah.
euphoria, man. It's just. I had a former captain tell me this. He said the magic. You get to like the Friday that we parade. He always said that. He said, and he parade on the first weekend. He said, man, but you hit that Friday before Carnival, and he said just you can just feel the magic in the air. Boy, he was right about that. I mean,
absolutely.
you could just feel it, and especially if you're a Carnival person.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised from the time I was a child into it. I first rode with my father. My father was a Duke in Allen that year, 1964.
Wow.
I was 4 years old. I rode as a Duke. I mean, as a Duke. He was a Duke. I rode right next to him, and that was my
page.
start. And he was king of Allen in 2 years later, 1966, and I was a page that year with him. But when you involved in that, you get that. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I take off from Wednesday to Wednesday every year, so that Wednesday, that's when my magic is really getting going. And by that time, we've gone to 20 parades, but
Right.
he's right. That stretch, to the end is really everybody's in town. There's just kind of everything's playing, everything's on. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a culmination. I mean, it's a culmination of everything, the best of everything that's going to happen. And I used to enjoy the old days when we'd start at uptown, we'd catch the uptown parade, then we'd run to Metairie, then we'd run out to at the end of the parade in Chalmette by Friscoville and St. Bernard Highway. And then if there was one in between, like when Centurion started on Tuesday night, we'd bust out there after Metairie, and then we'd get to St. Bernard. And
That's our route.
Yeah.
We hit everything.
oh yeah, so we did too.
Yeah.
And boy, if we missed one parade, I mean, we used to take the old Clarion Herald. Remember the Clarion Herald had to pull out before all they even had the Mardi Gras guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking high school days, and we started driving. And I mean, we'd go to the parade, we'd check it off. And boy, if we missed one, it was like, man, we ruined the whole year.
Well, I mean, back in the day, you could do it a little easier. Like now, we run around and we hit 40, 45. Last year, we did 50. But, I mean, back in the day, you could do a good 70,
Right. Well, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a time where we could even catch the Slidell parades, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew how to catch them. But because we catch them when they had a route starts at Salmon High School and goes down and ends on Gauze. But when it used to start in Gauze and go there, we knew how to get across the old Highway 11 bridge, and you go to right there by Highway 11, and you catch it towards the end.
Yeah. But we catch a couple of the Slidell parades earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And as, like once y'all start rolling, once that
Right.
first weekend starts rolling, it really becomes a a challenge for us. You know,
Right.
I mean, I'd love to get back out there and see some of them. You know, I know that, you know, they're making giant strides out there in
Right.
Slidell, but you know, there's
Well-
a couple of those crews that, you know, just
They have done a wonderful
the time
job.
doesn't work. You know.
Right. They've done a wonderful job, and you know, and I gotta give the Slidell City Council and the Slidell Police Department. You know, I know Randy Fandle, the police chief, really well, and I give them credit because they moved these. Now you're gonna have the week before our parade start. You always had Poseidon.
Yeah.
Well, the last 5-6 years that they've been in existence, on a Saturday night, they moved Titans from the Saturday night of the parade start here in New Orleans and Metairie. Okay, they moved them to the Friday night there, so you have Friday and Saturday parade. No competition.
Yeah.
No competition at all. And I mean, it's a smart thing to do. I keep saying that's what should be happening here in New Orleans. Of course, we know we have a huge problem with the police right now. With the numbers are very low.
Right.
But it's tough. And you talk about how we used to make all those parades. Well, yeah, you used to make parades because you had 16, 18, 20 floats in a parade. Now you got 65 floats in a parade and
Yeah.
double tandems and, you know, and then you get all the bands in between all these extra floats. It's just, it's a whole different makeup.
Yeah.
Well, get back to your parade. You mentioned you had bands coming in from 6 different states. I mean, who can we look forward to?
Right. Well, we have several two coming from Michigan. One is Ecorse High School.
Okay.
Then I have every year I have. I'm trying to think right now. I was working on a lineup over the weekend, but we'll have a band. One band comes out of Nashville every year, makes the trip.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that comes from. I used to have 2 or 3 that came from Memphis. Now it's down to 1. That's one of the drawbacks, unfortunately, because at one time I was up to 9 different states.
Jeez.
And but when the pandemic hit, I mean that has curtailed that travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's a tremendous expense, you know, bringing them in, housing, all that.
It is, and then and I think that they got off. It just it just doesn't take much to get you off track. They were doing it on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
And now, like some of the bands, they'll tell me now, well, we're going to do it every other year now. So bands I anticipate having this year will be on a rotation to be in 24. You know, we have a band that comes from a steel band that does that. That comes from Michigan also, and they come every 2 years.
Is that the one with the?
It looks like a car carrier.
Yeah.
And the first year they came, it was so plain, and now they have lights all over,
Yeah,
all the LED lights.
they're fun
Really
to
nice
watch.
job. And the band, they're wonderful. They really do a wonderful job.
They're fun to watch when they come
Right.
through.
Right.
They tend to ride a couple after they ride you. I think they typically ride that.
Yeah,
Sunday
they ride.
as well.
They ride. When they first came in, they contacted me. That was when I was one of the founders of Orpheus, and I handled a parade from the first year on for the first 22 years. And they called me, and then I subsequently talked to Bacchus. You know, we got them in Bacchus, and then they had Sunday and Monday, and then they got hooked up with Endymion, and then so that's what they do. They'll do that. You know, but every year they'll do every other year, I should say. Again, they do Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah.
But we had a group that we anticipated that came from Chicago that was coming on a yearly basis. And then what happened was that we didn't have they came last year, but they didn't come in 21 because we didn't parade.
Right.
And I didn't realize that. And when I called for this year, they said, no, we're going to be every other year. And that was the 21 thing, was their off year.
Yeah.
We didn't think about it because of the fact that we're fighting, with the pandemic. But
Right.
But no, but we generally have that. We've had a couple of bands come. We have some that come in from the western part of the state. One from Lake Providence. We had Beaumont Central High School for many years. They didn't come. They haven't come back since the pandemic.
Yeah.
So
They'll be back this year. That's really a wonderful.
yeah, they had a
band.
beautiful
That's
band.
good.
Well, still haven't heard from some of them. Some of them still
Oh.
waiting in the school district. A band from I think it was from Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. The director told me last week he's still waiting on the school district to give him an okay. I said, well, I don't know where you're gonna find hotel rooms at this time. You're gonna have to go out to LaPlace, and we've done it. We've sent it to
Yeah.
LaPlace, Kenna, Slidell. But Slidell, it's hard to get rooms to Slidell now because you got Slidell
Yeah.
parades, and a lot of the bands from the Gulf Coast parades will stay in Slidell too.
Yeah. Seeing the on social media, there's a couple different Mardi Gras fan groups, and you see these people who are emailing, that are chatting in this group, literally like the week after Mardi Gras happens. Like, I just booked my rooms for next year, or I'm looking to book my rooms.
You have to.
Where do you recommend that I book?
It's like,
And yeah, within like a month or two, you start seeing people saying everything in the quarter is pretty much sold out.
Oh, it's Well,
You
and
know?
it's cost prohibitive too. I mean, the
Yeah.
average hotel room. We have blocks at 3 different hotels because we have a good bit. I'd say 40% of our riders are from out of state and out of the country. We probably represent 5 or 6 different countries. We have
Oh,
a
wow.
couple. We have a couple that comes all the way from Australia, but they make the whole week of it. We have a good friend of ours that he's been around with us. Oh God, he's probably for a dozen years or more now, and he lives in Boston, but he comes down here for a month. He's here
That's doing it right.
He's here for the weekend of the water parades, Crew de Vue and Crew Delusion, and then he'll stay here till like a week after Carnival.
that's
so,
doing it right, man.
right.
Yeah.
He's retired. He's retired, and he loves Mardi Gras. He fell in love. He came in as a bucket list item several years ago, and we got to be good friends with him. And now he comes every year.
Wow. So a little bit ago, you had mentioned royalty. I know y'all have a king and queen. What's the selection process like? Is it
Selection process is a nomination. It comes from a membership. And we have a rule. We have a rule in place that you must be a member for several years before you can apply. Because we believe you need to be vested in a club, and you need to be
right?
We believe in retention. It's a retention thing, and I'm happy to say that this year our king is Mr. Tom McClung, and our queen is Miss Judy DeFreitas. Judy is a board member. She is, and both of them were board members of the 4 that turned the club over to me in 2004.
All right.
And they're still very, very active in the club. So Tom was actually the first king, and he wanted to do it again. He wanted to do it on the 20th anniversary, the 20th king, because like I said, they had the 2 years, and we had the 1 year that we didn't have court after the year after Katrina. So, so he's doing it, and then Judy, who is still on the board, and she's our legal advisor, is our king and queen. So it makes you very happy when you have people like that with longevity and that really have a vested interest in the club.
Yeah, it's always cool to hear stories of
Right.
people. When we talk with the captains, and they're like, oh yeah, we've got people who've been in the club, since inception, or in cases where like Allah's hitting 100 years.
Right.
They'll have people who it's like,
Right.
oh yeah, this person joined the club in 1962, and they still riding with us today.
Yeah. In Blaine's latter years and my early years as captain of Ala, we had him for 20 to 25 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
And except for 1 or 2 occasions I can remember, they all stuck.
Yeah.
We are now with Morpheus. We are up to we were covered through 2032.
Nice.
And then we just had our first meeting of the new year last week, and we had several members, newer members, 3 to 5 year members, that said, well, we want to get on the list and we want to start the process. And so we have 2 new kings. I don't know where we're going to find. I told them, I said, y'all going to wait a few years, and but it's a good thing to have,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's better to have several years lined
Right.
up than scurrying the year of and being like, you want to be king? You want to be king?
right,
You wanna be
exactly,
king?"
exactly.
Well, I mean, plus, with a lot of the charitable things that a lot of the crews do, the king takes the reins on a lot of that stuff in most crews. So
So true.
that's an important role beyond just waving a wand or whatever you do.
True.
I don't know if most people realize that.
Tom organized 2 fundraisers this year, and the 2 largest ones was they donated 1,000 baby blankets to Children's Hospital,
Oh, that's awesome.
which was very well received. I work for LCMC. I mean, and Children's that's our parent.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they would just when I told my superiors, I said, hey, we want to do this. My crew wants to do this. They were just like, come on, when, where, anytime, let's do it. We did that, and then they also did another fundraiser, and I can't even. I think it exceeded $10,000 to St. Michael's Special School.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we got to be. We have one of our board members whose son attended, just recently graduated, and it really made them happy, and he's very, very close to the principal and the president of the school, and it was beautiful. Really, we made the presentation to him at our coronation at Antoine's, and there wasn't an eye without a tear in it. I mean, it was really it was heartwarming, and I made an announcement and said, and this is what it's all about. We bring in a lot of joy and happiness to people on the streets on Mardi Gras, but this is to be able to do this is real life.
Yeah,
This is day-to-day issues.
it's so heartwarming for me to see the number of crews that work with the special needs community here in the New Orleans area.
Right.
You know, the fact that, ARC helps out heavily with bead recycling.
Right.
I know that ARC, St. Michael's, I know I'm forgetting a couple of the other groups that work with the special needs groups that, they help out heavily with designing a lot or, decorating a lot.
Right.
Of times.
The cups, yeah.
The cups, the
Frisbees.
the miscellaneous throws.
We used to always, speaking of ARC, we used to always have the little ARC throw it back to me float
Yeah.
that followed our parade every
Yeah.
year. And they told us they made so much. I mean, they collected so much. At the time, I had them in 3 parades, and they collected so much. But then we were told we couldn't do it anymore. They said that they didn't want any. They would try to discourage people from throwing things like they do at the Baka, the King Kong and the Queen Kong and the
Yeah.
Baka Gator and everything. And I understand that from a safety standpoint, but this is the last thing that followed the parade. I mean, it was a bullseye on a board.
Yeah.
But they used to collect a lot of throws and trinkets and beads, and we were told we had to stop it. We have done a lot of all these hurricanes. I hate to even bring it up, but all these hurricanes in recent years, we've done jobs for food, non-perishable foods, cleaning supplies, and that type of thing. We did a huge one that we went down to La Rose and cut off last year. We fed over 1,000 people at the Catholic Church right there, and that was handling a lot of the influx of all of the people that really had needs.
Yeah.
And we had pallets and pallets that were probably 5 and 6 foot high that covered the whole front of the church. If you were on the roadway in front of it, you couldn't even see it. I was amazed. We had collected at Plush Appeal, who does our throws. They allowed us to have a warehouse there. And they said when they sent one 18-wheel tractor trailer there, they thought it had like a half a load there. They had to send 2 more trucks.
Wow.
And they brought it all and they unloaded the pallets in front of the church. We got there, set up the tents to cook. And we served jambalaya and pastalaya, and then we had salad and I think green beans and corn. Fed over 1,000 people, and it was. I tell you what, we served so many people, and the lines were still coming. That we saw what was going on, and the local Knights of Columbus are there. They started cooking. They started cooking. They were frying fish and stuff like that, and it was amazing event. And I told everybody walked away and said, hey, be proud of yourself, man. You did something really, really positive today.
Yeah. That doing this interview, that's one of the things that's really been special for us. It's like we knew that Mardi Gras crews had community service things that they did, but to hear the amount of work, you mentioning that y'all were able to donate 1,000 plus blankets to
Correct.
children at Children's Hospital. To feed over 1,000 people at a food drive. All these different things like that. That's amazing to us. To help out so many different groups of people in need.
Yeah, we got a call on Wednesday. Okay, a sister-in-law of mine. She was helping with this effort, a Ukrainian relief effort. Okay, a few months after the war started, and she says they arranged with a transport plane, an Air Force transport plane at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, to fly supplies in. And I said, wait, Mimi, you talking about this? Like they flying out Saturday, and this is a Wednesday. We got together real quickly. I mean, we burned a midnight oil that Wednesday night. Thursday, again, plush appeal. Thanks to Alyssa and her group over there. I mean, she said, "You got the warehouse. Come, we'll open it up for you, whatever." And we put the word out. And by Friday afternoon, they were picking up Friday at 6 o'clock to take the ride to Florida, the Panhandle of Florida, and to get these supplies loaded. We walked into that warehouse, and I'm gonna tell you something. We had, again, it was probably at least a half of a tractor trailer load of stuff.
That's amazing.
And it happened really, really quickly. And the beauty part about it was, I mean, and when it got there, they started calling us saying, "I can't believe what y'all did in 2 days." And I said, "Well, we have good people, and we do." And that's something I should have said up front. I mean, you know, you have to have a great board of directors that do their committee assignments and do them well, and you have to have great float lieutenants. They're the ones that actually fill the floats. That's how we got 800 members.
Right.
I didn't go get 800 members. No individual did.
Yeah, you might have encouraged a handful of people, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have great float lieutenants and they're very attentive. They do their job. They attend everything, you know, and we cherish them and we take good care of them. I think, you know. I mean, so.
But you know, I'm sure beyond the wonderful things you're doing with the parade, that night itself, like we mentioned earlier, like, you know, Hermes has become such a great parade. It's just a beautiful parade,
Right.
You know, and I think Daytona is just hilarious.
It is. It is.
They're just kicking the ass. But you know, that's a fun night to ride. I'm sure, you know, is some of the draw. You know, but it's wonderful to hear so much community service and international service y'all are doing.
Right. Well, I mean, it's, you know, it comes from the heart. I mean, my family always volunteers. We never understood the word no. We never turned anybody down.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of same type people in our organization. I mean, I couldn't ask for any better. You know. So, it's funny. I should have mentioned that earlier too. The way we got on Friday night. Okay. When this all came about, and I was a founder of the Ancient Druids. Me and several other people with several other clubs, and so 2 years later is when I had this opportunity to take over, you know, Morpheus, and we followed Druids, and it was hard because I still had my membership. I was still a charter officer and everything, and I remember when Druids passed by. "Hey, you trader, man!" They were all as every float passed by, you know, because we were alongside of Chopper Tools, and they were coming around us to go in front of us, and but they were all laughing and everything, and so 2004, right? So next year, 2005, you know, it worked itself out, and you know, there was an understanding. Like I say, I still maintain my membership. I had somebody ride for me in Druids, but then. What happened in August of 2005? Here comes Hurricane Katrina. Okay, so it was October, November, and I get a call from the lieutenant that was in charge of the special events office, NOPD. You got to meet us at a meeting at the Sheraton Hotel. That's where all the police officers were staying because, like myself, I had 7 foot of water in my house. I was displaced.
Yeah.
So many of the police officers. So they all stayed at the Sheraton, and we go over there, and I walk in there, and there's our friend Stacy Rosenberg, and she was going to meet with them right after me, and I walked in and he told me, he said, "Hey, we got to cut days, man. I mean, we got to cut days, that type of thing. There will be no Monday, no Tuesday, no Wednesday." Okay, and that year with Druids, we went ahead and we just had a little carriage parade in a marching parade in the French Quarter, and we had fun. We did it. So. That's when they told me, they said, "You're on Friday night now. You will never be on Tuesday night again. There will never be a Monday or Tuesday, and maybe not a Wednesday anymore in Carmel. We need the off days now. And you're going to be on Friday behind Hermes and Daytide." And they kind of basically told me that. And then Muses is going to be behind, Babylon is going to be bumped up from Wednesday night to Thursday night. And Chaos is going to go behind them, and then Muse is going to go behind them on Thursday, and that's how that all came to be.
Yeah.
Blessing in disguise. I mean, you know, it really was. I mean, we had grown to almost 375 members on a Tuesday night, but the Friday night, again, that's when the magic starts. You know.
Right. Yeah. You got more of a chance to get your traveling riders to come in.
Right.
and
Exactly.
you know,
I'm sure you
enjoy
run
the
into a
festivities.
much larger crowd too on that Friday.
Huge
you
crowds.
know.
I mean, I've ridden in Bacchus, Orpheus. Like I said, I was with Orpheus for the first 22 years. I rode in Toth for 21 years. I mean, I've ridden in front of some big crowds.
Yeah.
But I tell you, last year. Now, I know one part of the thing was that we had a shortened route, so we started at Britannia, Napoleon,
Yeah.
and so it was a little more condensed. But still, in all, I mean, we've had for the last 5 years, we've had great crowds. It's a great triple up.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on when that really started because, like, it used to be, Bacchus and Demian, Orpheus really drew a big crowd. It feels like everybody's pretty much bringing out the same crowd now. Well,
Crowds
that
are
night
huge
is,
across
you know
the
what I
board.
mean? It's like people, are, oh, that's too hard to park on that day. I'm like, it's the same as any other day at this point. you
Right,
know?
right.
So you had mentioned the original routes. Are y'all officially back on your original
Full length.
route?
We believe so. We
Yeah.
secured everything we need. It's just a matter now the city giving the blessing and saying it's a done deal,
Yeah.
So, but I've talked to several other captains, and I know they've identified the personnel that's needed. So
Yeah.
yeah. So again, knock on wood. Yeah, we'll be back at Jefferson and Magazine. So will Hermes and Detad, and all the other ones that paraded from there.
Yeah.
It feels like all that's all but official at this point. I mean, I kind of get the same feeling from everybody else as
Right.
well that
Well,
we have the people, but it's not written in stone yet. But even last year, we were supposed to start at St. Charles, but I mean, the crowds weren't going for that. They were lined up all the way down Napoleon.
my lead float was at that same right at Tipitina's at
Yeah.
Chapatoulas and Napoleon. And I know the police.
Yeah.
The police said that was not a route. Don't throw. But guess what? There were people all along
I mean,
Magazine,
yeah.
and they were all
Yeah.
packed in Miss Mays and everything else. So
It became the route.
right.
Let's see. Where can people follow you, crew?
Well, we got the crew of Morpheus.com, and we have all the Facebook, Twitter, all the other social media outlets. You just get us on that. So
Yeah, and I know y'all are super active on social medias. It's not like
right.
you get one post and then you don't see anything for 7 months.
They pack
All throughout the year, y'all are
Right.
updating.
They love to pack photographs in them too, which is I like that too because like I say, a picture tells it's worth 1,000 words. So
Exactly.
so yeah, I really looking forward to it this year. Especially it was a really great bounce back Mardi Gras last year, but this getting back to the regular routes and that type of thing, it's really
Yeah.
going to be.
Well, I'm looking forward to the rollout of all the new floats.
I am too. Like I say, it's the beginning. I mean, we purchased them about 8 months ago, so we weren't able to really do what I wanted to do. But 24 will you'll see another big increase. The lighting this year is gonna be nice though. With the changing the LED light bulbs that change colors and chase. They're very similar to the ones that several of the Super Cruise use now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're very pricey, but to me it's so much better than just having the regular stationary light bulbs.
Yeah.
And this is something we were able to do by unscrewing the old ones and putting these new ones in. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you control these things from your phone now,
Yeah.
some of them dance to the music. I mean, it's amazing. It really is.
I
Yeah.
was so excited I got to change from Christmas decorations to Mardi Gras like that this year.
I'm in the process of doing that right now.
It was
Change the
wonderful.
colors, right? Exactly.
The whole
I'm-
outside of my house changed color.
Well,
Right.
I've changed pretty much all of the lights in my house to be, Amazon aware, shall we say?
Right.
I don't want to say her name and wake her up, but
Right.
I think we all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, you can see over here where, my my track lighting is in Mardi Gras garb, and
Right.
there's a couple color sensitive lights in the house to where, when I get in the festive mood, I'll put them into Mardi Gras or Christmas
Right.
or whatever. And like you said, you play there's add-on things that you can do with it to where whatever music it hears,
Right.
it twinkles to it or
Right.
dances to it, and that's really awesome to help
Right.
make it easier.
It's all this new technology, but the thing is that I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I am seeing more houses that are lit up purple, green, and gold than I've ever seen. in my
Yeah,
life
saying
before.
that the other
he
day.
mentioned it to me either yesterday or day before.
Right.
We were riding somewhere, and he was like, "Yeah, I noticed so many more houses that are, decorated in purple, green, gold." It's like I'm not sure if it's
Get on the
from
phone.
the
That's
house
gotta
float.
be
Change
it.
the colors.
Yeah. And he was like,
Well,
I'm not
thinking
sure if
too,
it's
a lot
from
of people
house
did house
floats,
floats.
Right.
And,
or if it's just the fact that
Right.
Yeah.
the color lights are so easy to get your hands on and
Right.
so easy to control. Like like you're saying, you can change it with your phone or by yelling some lady's name there.
Yeah, that lady.
Yeah,
There's
that
a lot of
lady.
stuff now. Yeah.
She's got the raid.
That's
she's got it.
amazing. I mean, sometimes when you're talking, that's really gets me. When you're having another conversation and you're on a phone.
Oh yeah.
I have a
it's
good friend
it's
by that
amazing.
name, and it's like,
It's
oh
amazing.
man, the house starts going off when we have a
Right.
phone conversation.
Right.
So I really want to thank you for joining us here today. We always get super excited for y'all's ride. That y'all are really one of those fun nights of
Right.
parading. That in between the beauty of all three parades. The coolness of all the different float or throws that all three crews throw.
It's a smorgasbord.
I mean, it's really a fun night. If to our listeners, if you've never attended, Morpheus, I'd really implore you to take some time out of your Mardi Gras weekend and go catch yourself a really fun parade. So
You will catch a lot because we do throw a lot of stuff.
yeah.
No, that-
Yeah, thank you again.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
So signing out, we will see you on the route.
that can might